Hey guys, how's it going, man? Today I'm going to talk about how Asians uh, might have gone bankrupt in your fourth grade. Now, but I'm just saying only Asian Americans would have gone bankrupt. Now, let me explain. So, I'm Craig. I am a relationship coach for a lot of different scenarios, including relationship for men, women, romance, friendship, business, those type of things. I focus on success. So instead of like a long-term success, I don't focus on to the short-term hooking up, those type of things. You go figure it out yourself, man. Or you go find a coach that does the hookup. So today I would like to talk to you about a very interesting subject that has never occurred to me, but it has occurred to tons of Asians, kids around this age, around exactly at fourth grade, around 9 years old, 8 years old, around there. So it's actually a collective event for a lot of these Asians that actually went on from 1970s all the way to 19 2000s. You know, what I'm saying like 2000 something. So what happened was that um, these Asian kids, they're growing up in America, they're going to public school, a lot of them going to public school, having a good time, speaking English, getting great grades, enjoying themselves, get a nice little, like, house, get their own room, got a lot of toys. It's usually like that. A lot of these Asian kids are starting to do good. Some of them were immigrants, but they're starting to do good. Every single year, they're getting better and better and better. And then when life is about to get satisfied, for 8 years old, and then bam, all of a sudden, what happened is that suddenly, suddenly, all the friends that they got just disappear. The socially bankrupt. So they have been going to school, got the good grades, got somewhat acceptance, and then suddenly, just all of a sudden, just nobody wants to hang out with them in the lunchroom anymore. And these kids, they had their white friends. You know, a lot of them have white friends or just whatever is socially mainstream. And all of a sudden, they have no friends. And that usually happens on kids that are maybe from like the smaller states. You know, they're not like California or like New York City where there are tons of Asians. You know what I'm saying? Like the high, really like Hawaii or something like that. It only happens in very like loose. You know what I'm saying? Most of the people are predominantly white, because usually Asians do live in white neighborhoods. So I don't know if they actually went to a black school or something like that. So that will be not applicable. And then so the ideal for a lot of these kids have already been shaped. They feel like they are Americans, they are smart, they got a bright future. I know what kind of car I'm gonna get when I get older. And how come all of a sudden it's just like a big crash of like it's a silent crash. It's just all of a sudden people just start hanging out with everybody else and people start making fun of you, making fun of your food, making fun of your eyes, making fun of what you do. And to a lot of these kids, it's very, very, very painful. It's very, very painful to actually go through this. A lot of them actually have post-traumatic distress about these type of things. They get sad, unhappy, upset, even like in their later adulthood. A lot of times, what happened is that they stop wanting to bring the mom's Chinese food, Chinese dumpling, to school because they keep on asking, "What's that? What are you eating? Ew, that's a dumpling. Ew, that's something else." It's like all these things becomes an embarrassment, and they're beginning to learn about embarrassment as well because they don't want to be embarrassed. They are like humans. They are like just mini humans, right? So the thing is that like it happens. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate that these things do happen. and it happens globally. You know what I'm saying? Like not globally, maybe for Australian born Chinese, other type of born Chinese as well. But it does not apply to people like me who came to America post like 12 years old. So I don't have that collective event that you guys have gone through. So um, I'll explain in a second. But a lot of times they get very rejected at the age of 8. It's also a very vulnerable age. That's because they're beginning to realize they're forming their own identities, and their identity is not aligned with who they are, or who they are in the media. And at the time back in the days, it's like TV is everything. They watch TV is like this is who they belong. This is my image. This is my image of me, and they realize that this is not the image that they project on themselves, and it's difficult. And they're also beginning to realize there are people that are phobby. They're like, how come they look like me, East Asians, but they act totally different? Like I'm actually kind of like, what I'm saying, they would feel repulsive. They would feel like weird around them, things like that. So fast forward to me is that I came around 12 years old. I mean, there are other things that I did prior to that, but like to a FOB guy, I would call it FOB because I already have been. Um, the difference is like I put it this way is that I already have formed my identity as a Chinese man, as a Chinese person. I'm saying as a person of ethnicity from a nationality, I never consider myself really as 100% true American, even though I might had already American passport back then. It's a very long story, but I don't want to talk about why I had the American passport. But I had it, I'm saying? I knew it, but I know I am yellow skinned Chinese. Like it's my tongue, it's my thing, it's that's the only thing I could speak at the time. So when I came to America, the difference is that wow, this place is great. It's easy school. Um, it's kind of like a dream come true. There isn't a lot of work. Like teachers actually respect you. Teachers actually respect you. It's like, wow, great job, Michael. It's like, dude, nobody ever says that to me in China or in Hong Kong, wherever. Like usually say, why don't you study harder? This type of thing, right? So or like, we have made a mistake. Because in China or in Asia, it's more like when the children make a mistake, it's like the children make a big deal out of it. It's like, why you make a mistake? Mistake should never be made, and this is how you do it without making a mistake the very first try. You get it? You know what I'm saying? So to us, it's like a really good heaven. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go to California. I didn't go to any of these nice places. I actually did go to a not nice place, which is um, actually Washington D.C. I wouldn't call it not nice. To me, it's still very nice, because the curriculum is comfortable. Uh, there were some a little bit of bullying here and there, but like overall, nothing that really bothers me way too much. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know these people. You know what I'm saying? I think like for example, if black people say some BS stuff about me, I just let it slide because like I'm not in a black circle. You know what I'm saying? They just talk and then they leave. They're back into their own circles. Like I don't I don't think of it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like why would I care about your opinion? Things like that. But however, for a lot of American-born Chinese, they care a lot more about the social acceptance and people's opinion than me because they think they're American. So therefore, they should be accepted. They should be equal because they've been teaching them this entire life. So when I think like when they grow up, around 18, 19 years old, that's when a lot of um, them have different ideas the first most popular one, especially the ones that's way back in the days, like in the grew up in 70s, 80s, stuff like that, then they wanna um, what they want to do is that they move to they don't move they might move out of their state or but they want to marry, literally marry like a white person, a lot of them want to marry a mainstream white person, and they're not interested in Asians at all. I've met some of them are like that. They're one of the really small towns. They're looking for a guy who is like, into playing guitar, those type of thing. No names. I've literally met a person like that, a Taiwanese girl, in one of the smallest town in South Carolina, man, and that that did it to her. But I mean, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? If that is the thing for you, and then I have also met people that like the awakening never really came to them. Like they still think they could be a diplomat, or they could be like, it's not like they cannot be a diplomat, because there are also other requirements as well, because they never really see the Asian side of themselves, so they might be acting very Asianish, or like that they might not realize it. So overall is that I have to say is, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with them. They're saying they're just reacting off the environment, right? So some of them still wanna be like have a white wife and stuff like that. But sooner or later they'll realize that, especially if you're growing up in the 80s, 90s, then like you're not gonna easily find a girl that wants to date you. Most girls who have a lot of opportunities not gonna white girls is not gonna be wanting to date you. So the Chinese guys, they would definitely quickly kind of realize it and realize that it's gonna be difficult. But Asian girls will be different. They will be on to maybe white guys and stuff like that. So it's just obviously a generalization, but that's the first type of people. The second type of people is that from these small like states or places, they'll move to the biggest city where there are the most concentrated Asians after 18 years old. So they'll abandon and move into New York City, move into like California, where there are the most Asians. And I think to that is also a very healthy choice. It's a very healthy choice because you go there, you kind of check out where you actually missed out while you were a kid and things like that. If you are from a smaller town, you definitely are not going to go to a lot of nice restaurants, nice Chinese restaurants. It's going to be like Americanized, like not very high quality restaurants. And I think it's also a very healthy choice. Actually, I've been to California recently and New York. I still think it's pretty cool. It's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? It is cool. And props for moving over there. Probably there are even more job opportunities for you to move over, because there'll be more of a diversity thing going on. Compared to me, like I actually worked in these a lot of companies. I'm the only Asian person there. The only. So to me, that was white privilege right there. If you want to call it white privilege, is that they almost treated me like they forgot that I was Asian. I think the last choice is that the more unusual one, and the one that I took personally, is that when I actually got older, I just want to go back to Asia. But I mean, that's a little bit different because I've always wanted to go back to Asia because I just feel comfortable there. I just feel comfortable and like a relief. It's it's kind of weird because if you're visiting, or if you're really older, much 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 older, as an Asian in America, then you don't really have any pressure. You just enjoy. What I'm saying, you don't need acceptance. You just enjoy. There's nothing else to prove. What I'm saying, if you have a lot of money, especially if you have done your career already, if you live in America, there is no problem. You have nothing to prove. You have nothing that you needed. You have anything else is a plus. Anything else is good. And so that's the way I feel, like especially, especially like um, especially how to say this. Um, so anyway, so let me continue. So I went back to Asia, and I went to the first stop I actually stopped by was Korea, South Korea. And I have to say, like, even though I don't speak the Korean language, I could pick up some of the words because I already know Chinese pretty well. So, man, I tell you what, like, people already treated me really, really well. I'm always so, like, really blessed. I'm really blessed. I mean, like, even in America, people treat me well. So, people treated me really well there, like men and women, I'm saying? All those, like, Josie, I'm saying? All those, like, ladies, older ladies. They just like, trying to pamper me, help me out, do a lot of things, like mom stuff, I know, I'm saying, I know mom loves kids. Mom loves kids. Like, that's cool. Like, they would treat me like, not like almost like their own kid. It's coming from the heart, I'm saying? You have to know the Korean culture is a little bit rough. A little bit times on the edges. Rough on the edges, I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Um, but the heart is there, I'm saying? That's what I always think about the Korean culture, you know the heart is there. So then later, obviously, I went back to Hong Kong and China and all those other places, and lived another X amount of years, many, many, many years. And sometimes I regret. Sometimes I think it's better to stay in America, but sometimes it's not, But overall, is that I have to say to me it's a really good choice. I really do enjoy those times. It's to me it's fantastic. And wherever you are, I mean, I really feel bad about this type of thing that happened when you're in fourth grade. Does that actually happen to so many of my friends who are ABCs and tell me the same problems? Like, so all of a sudden, nobody hangs out with me anymore, you know, at fourth grade. And I just said, like, to me back then, I was a little bit insensitive. I was like, why do you need them? F them. But later in life, I realized this does a lot of, detriments and, they, a lot of, a lot of them actually at the end chase, a lot of things. They chase the acceptance when they're older. So it does affect people. So I want to say this is like it's kind of I wouldn't say serious, but it does hurt people. And that's what I'm trying to say, things like that. But yeah, so I would like to say that, like, overall it is okay with all these choices, and I think overall, um, it's not easy, saying, like, it's for Asian Americans. This is the toughest part, what I'm saying? That is the toughest part. But I think if you want to eliminate all this part, it's very simple. It's either you move to Asia, or like you never, like, you move to California or Hawaii, you know. They would never your kids ever never have to go through this problem ever again. I mean, it's not like the parents could prepare them. It's like, oh, by the way, for fourth grade and third grade, somebody's gonna reject you really badly, and they're gonna be racist to you. FYI. So nobody's gonna tell you that. So it's kind of like an impromptu bomb that I guess a lot of them took. Um, Kind of not very nice. Also. So, but anyways, I think I'm just here to address it. There is no mental issues. I think like once you when you're an adult, you've sorted out, you're in peace with it, all good in the hood. Talk to you guys later.